Hey guys, it's me again, Orcslayer. What ifs? Where we last left off? Let's see. Checking. Where we last left off. Yes, I remember. The villains had literally just assaulted the building. Or not the building, the USJ. They popped in, but before the villains showed up, the armies of heaven and hell literally popped out of nowhere and just started killing one another. So in return, Deku got, or War or Death, whichever you prefer to call him, Death was able to get everyone organized and had War opening the back door, had Strife and Fury, well, had Strife supporting with pretty much gunfire, and then he had Fury protecting the group of people. Well, he went into the fray and started tearing things apart. Nomu has been unleashed early because Shigaraki's like, why the hell are demons here, Kurogiri, this wasn't part of the plan. Yeah. Let's chew on some gum. Anyways, as he pushes forward, he starts slicing demons apart more and more. He impales one on his scythe, as he slams him down to the ground, as then he goes to hand, as he punches through a demon's chest and then rips off another one's head as he throws it. Now the semblance of how Death fights, we typically see him fighting with his scythe most of the time, and that's the main thing you see. But in the game, he also has the thing where he gets like these gauntlets that have blades. So I'm guessing he does have a semblance of hand-to-hand combat. That's what he's using here, as he punches, claws, and pretty much uppercuts his way through this horde. He retreats back, grabs his scythe again, and continues fighting. The angels are smart enough to fly away and try to stay up and just shoot down at the demons, and the League of Villains, who at this point are shooting at the angels. Because if there's one thing that humans all agree on, angels and demons can go fuck off somewhere else. And so with that, they aren't really working together. They're more or less too busy destroying the other enemies. As Deku's focusing on demons, while Shigaraki at this point is disintegrating angels. And then Nomu has literally jumped up, grabbed a few, and has ripped off their angel wings. Some of the angels are horrified of what they just saw. They just saw this weird bird creature that they know is in a demon and moved faster than they could track, jump up, rip off their brethrens or sisters, their kin's wings, and literally just pelted them to the ground. The only thing on this thing's level is maybe All Might. So now they're in their own panic, trying to figure out, what is this thing? This thing is killing us. We need to fall back. As some of them start trying to teleport out of there. At that point, as they're trying to use like those special little things where they just go zap out of the air, Kurogiri then envelops them. Well, he doesn't envelop them. What he does is that he ensures that the ones trying to fly up higher to get away are just, as he appears above them, teleports them back down. As at the same time, he goes ahead and tries to take care of the... he tries to take care of Fury and all that. As Fury defends them, but she's having a difficult time, like how Bakugo and them did, where she was trying to whip at them. As she's whipping at him, she's like, come on, damn you, why can't I hit you? He's like, he says, it is a shame, Miss whatever your name is, but I have a mission to complete, and these people shall make excellent hostages. She's like, you won't do that as long as I breathe. He's like, such a shame. Hello, can I require some assistance here? As then he teleports several villains in front of Fury, as she just takes her whip and whoosh, cracks it, and she hits them all across the chest. But in that time she was busy dealing with the villains. Kurogiri had used his teleportation and got everyone and sent them off in the way they do in the anime. As the demons aren't just here in that middle part, and same thing with the angels, they're all across the USJ, so it's a four-way war between the UA students, between the villains, between the angels, between the demons. This is a four-way war going on at the very moment. Ah, yes. Sorry, I had to go away for a bit. Things got noisy. Anyways, as this four-way war is going on, Deku's in the middle, where Shigaraki and all them are, and the Nomu is tearing the angels apart. By this point, it's been like 10 minutes. And also, when Kurogiri sent everyone away, it's just as War was able to open the doors, and he's like, ah, finally. As then he turns around, come on, guys. He's like, where'd you all go? He's like, they were kidnapped. Go get somebody. He's like, no way am I leaving you all behind. As he picks up his sword, it's like, War, you got a speed quirk, you see. He's like, uh-huh. He's like, of course I know I have a speed quirk. Why did you... Go get reinforcements. Look at that out there. As then he takes a look out and he sees there's like I've been saying, a four-way war. War's like, oh, Strife, you go do it. He's like, oh, I'm busy. She's busy at this point, blasting away. She's like trying to take out angels and demons. She's like, I don't discriminate between angels and demons. She's blasting away. That's when she started blasting at the sky. She's blasting. She tries to hit this Nomu a little bit too. And she is successful for quite a while. She shoots him up. She's like, he's regenerating too fast. What am I supposed to do here? She's like, hit him with something that doesn't allow him to regenerate. He's like, what am I supposed to do? I got this. As she charges up her magical energy, she's like, hopefully this still works. She blasts him with something because also she has the ability. She acquired an ability to, as Samael recognized that some demons have the ability to heal extremely fast. And since she's been working with Samael for a while, he says, I'll give you this ability, as he gave her ability to stop regeneration temporarily. So she's starting to shoot him up a lot. She's like, I'll continue to put pressure on him. He's like, just kill the damn thing already. She's like, it's a bit hard to do that, as Nobu's constantly moving around. She's pretty much having to be dead shot when he shot Flash in the Injustice 2. As she's able to get a shot here and there to slow him down, but it starts regenerating again. So she's constantly had to apply the effect, try to get a shot off at the same time. So she's a constant back and forth of shooting and missing, shooting and missing, shooting and hitting, and shooting and missing. Then you got Fury, who's literally at this point has jumped down. Well, actually, she was distracted for that moment, so now she was teleported away as well. So at this point, she's over where Froppy and them were. As she stands there, she's like, oh, I hate this. As the villains and such start trying to climb on the boat, she whips them away as she's like, come on, you idiots, I'm ready. She's whipping and whipping and whipping. Sorry. As you got Mineta and Suyu there, she's like, alright, tell me, what are your quirks again? She's like, I'm a frog. He has balls that stick to things. She's like, that ain't much to work with. As she's like, alright, we need to think about this for a little bit. She's thinking, you go over to where Deku is. He's at this point cutting 3 demons in half, as then he throws his scythe and catches an angel off guard. He's like, these stupid angels are breaking the freaking rules again. He's like, I remember what happened the last time these things showed up on Earth unannounced. And it's like, what happened the last time? He's like, don't you remember? As one of the villains like bumps into him, like, what do you mean what happened last time? He's like, last time the angels and demons showed up unannounced, we had the apocalypse on our hands. He's like, wait, how would you know about it? He's like, it's in the history books. What do you mean, how do I know about that? He's like, good point. As then he gets thrown away and eaten by a demon. He's like, oh, what's the point in explaining things to these weak people? They're immediately gonna die. As he goes and deeper into the crowd, he's trying to reach Shigaraki, who at this point touches the demon's head and causes it to just melt, essentially. And with Deku seeing this, he actually bumps into Shigaraki. He's like, boy, what is your name? He's like, you're the one who started killing demons. Shigaraki. He's like, well, Shigaraki, I would recommend that you withdraw your forces at the moment. As in, he chops a demon who's about to swing at Shigaraki. He's like, I feel things are about to get more complicated. As Shigaraki's like, don't tell me what to do, you hero. It's so unfair. How did they just show up out of nowhere? He's like, life ain't fair, what Shigaraki or Handman. I don't care what you call yourself. But at the point, I'd rather have you humans out of the way so I can continue my job. It's like, humans? You're a human too. It's like, yes and no. As in, he somewhat in a brief moment transforms into his Reaper form and slices 6 demons in half. As the demons are starting to see, ew, it really is the Reaper. He's back. As they start to retreat and the angels are now retreating, are beginning to like falter. Since, you know, a freaking Nomu has been tearing their people apart, and then there's others who've been being plucked out of the sky by Strife. As Shigaraki's like, looks like we're starting to win. He's like, don't be so sure of that. Where there's one demon, there's 20 around the corner waiting to finish what they started. He's like, so what? You think there's going to be a lord coming out of nowhere? He's like, well, a couple of days ago, from what I heard from the underground networks, there was quite a few armies that assembled together to try and assault Earth. And, well, from what I hear, the 4 horsemen stopped. He's like, the 4 horsemen are a myth. Or at least they're dead. Now, you do know something about the horsemen, right? It's like, what? The horsemen never truly die. Their souls are just waiting for a new body. As he then conjures a couple of ghouls to surround them as they start tearing at the demons and the villains at this point, since there's not that many enemies left. As Shigar's like thinking, what are you doing to my pieces? As he's like, your pieces? Those weaklings that you call your followers? It's like, whatever you wish to call them. I need them. He's like, why is that? To kill All Might. He's like, you need these very, very weak people to fight the most powerful human that will ever exist. He's like, he's not the most powerful. My master is. As he's starting to scratch at his neck again, he's like, your master? Who is your... As then All Might says, I am here. As Deku looks over, he's like, well, speak of the devil, here's All Might. As then he immediately turns away from Shigaraki and goes back to killing demons. All Might will deal with you, kid. Personally, I'm not going to get in his way. As we go over to the other parts of the USJ, Fury was able to, it's actually formulate a plan. Saying that she's like, alright. As she cracks her neck, she's like, alright, I'm going to have to activate that for this. And she's like, what do you mean that? As she says, Froppy, when I tell you, you jump, and I will throw you, grab Mineta, and you both throw your balls into the water, while I will throw a lot of my strength into the water, so that way you may come out as a whirlpool of a kind. She's like, is that really possible? As she's like, what do you mean? As also he's like, it's the best plan we got at the moment. So as she's like, alright, ready? She's like, ready. As then Fury conjures her Havoc. Yeah, it's Havoc form. She transforms into an even taller version. She transforms into a giant woman that's covered in fire and has 2 whips instead of just the one. As she has this ability at the ready, she's like, ready? As they're like, oh yes. As she picks her up and Mineta, she throws them both at the same time. As Suyu wraps her tongue around Mineta as he starts just throwing down his balls. She immediately jumps up with as much strength as she can, and she uses a lot of her force and slams herself down straight into the ground, causing a whirlpool to happen. As she immediately starts running on the bottom of the floor, she uses her whips to accelerate her progress as she shoots them out in front of her and pulls her forward, similar to Spider-Man. As she reaches to the shore in a matter, even before Asui or Suyu and Mineta make it to the shore. As she catches them, as she's like, "You safe?" They're like, "Yeah, thanks." As she's like, "No problem." As she looks over and she sees Daff at the point, getting rid of the rest of the demons, while Strife has finished off most of the angels. As she de-transforms, she's like, that's... Whew, it's been a while since I've had to use that. Whew. It's been like a week, I think. You know, used it to stop that one army. It's like, what? You used it to stop an army? She's like, story for another time. Let's just watch the show as All Might comes in and starts dealing with the rest of the villains. As the rest of the people have been able to survive, barely, since Momo wasn't there to help with Jiro and Kaminari, they had to improvise a little bit, and so they kept on. This time, instead of being shielded from the electricity, Jiro was actually caught in the blast. And she actually wakes up, she's like, "What happened?" As she's so much shaking, she's like, "I am so sorry." As, well, Kaminari comes over, he's like, "Hey." Like that very dumb version, he's like, "Hey." And she's like, "Kaminari, what happened?" He's like, shock." As we go down that line, Kirishima and Bakugo really didn't have anything different happen, except Bakugo's just like, no doubt Deku's dealing with the center of this. As he has no idea where Deku finishes off the last demon. He says, well, that takes care of that. As a Nomu, as Shigeruki's like, Nomu, kill him. As he jumps forward to go deal with All Might. As War reappears, he's like, why is this happening? I'm gonna need to rest for a little bit. As he shakes his head off, he's like, alright, time to get into it. As then he looks over, he's like, what happened to all the demons and the angels? He's like, sorry bro, you missed it. And he's like, shut up, Strife. She's like, hey, don't blame me. Death over there has been doing a real number on them. You should have seen him. He was doing cool backflips and everything. He's like, I know. As he's like very grumpy, as he just sets his sword down, he's like, oh. It's like, oh, don't worry, big guy. You'll get your chance of awesomeness later. She's like, I know that. Shut it. As then we go over to where Deku and them are, as All Might has his fight with the Nomu. It's like the world's symbol of peace and justice, and as because Deku dealt with Kurogiri at that point, dealt with Kurogiri and Shigaraki. As that's when Strife made her kept on, well, not Strife, but Fury made her presence known, as she was dealing with Kurogiri, and she's like, I know where she didn't hit. As she aims it right, she wraps the whips around Kurogiri, yanks him forward, and forces her down as she puts her, like, weird high heel thing on, which I have no idea. How does she fight with high heels on? That just seems like it would be incredibly uncomfortable. I think she just wears them to make herself feel more powerful, since she can be a bit taller than everybody else. She's already a giant, too. Yeah. So anyways, what happens is All Might blasts him away, happily ever after, for that moment. As Deku and all of them, like, go, as All Might goes to fall down, as he debuffs, they're like, what the hell? As Deku's like, All Might, he's like, as he's just smiling, saying, yeah, kid, it's me. Oh, wait, yeah, Deku knows about All Might. If I remember, Deku does know about All Might in this. As, yeah, Deku does know about All Might in this. I forgot about that. Since he does know about All Might's secret, Fury actually sees this. As, well, actually, no. No, he doesn't. Oh my god, I'm sorry, I forget these things, some of these small details, since I just glance over them. But when it comes to Deku, he didn't know, but he did meet All Might before. So with that, what happens is that, you know, Deku actually finds out about All Might's little itty-bitty secret. As he's like, All Might, he's like, yeah, kid, it's me. As he coughs up a little bit of blood, he's like, as even Fury's like, what happened to you? She's like, ugh, a villain hit me so hard it destroyed half my organs. She's like, oh my god, are you okay? He's like, does it look like I'm fine? I'll live, kid. I do not have COVID, just so you know. But anyways, as he's able to, like, is hidden away, thanks to cement toss, yeah. They move on with the rest of the day as everyone's like, wow, you guys did so amazing. As Insui's like, didn't we hear something about death has returned? As that's when a few of them have seeds of like, what are these people? As they see the four of them talking with another, as Bakugo calls over to Deku, all of them turn their heads in unison. As a few of them like, this reminds me of a picture I saw. As it's Tokoyami looks over and just in an instant he sees a flash of a picture come to his mind. He's like, who these people are? He's like, these people are... Sorry if you couldn't hear me, but basically what I just said is that they're all starting to become more suspicious of these four. As the picture flashes in mind in Tokoyami's head, he's like, these are the... As in a bus pulls up and like, everyone, get on! It's time to go home. As they're like, yay! As that's where I'm going to be ending this one off at. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Hope you guys continue to enjoy this. And I hope you guys have a nice day, nice night, nice life.